it's Easter, so in honor of Trip's death and rebirth.
I like that.
There we go.
Wouldn't mind a little body of Trip on my tongue, if you know what I mean.
Hey.
I'm gonna drink his blood.
A drip of Trip keeps fucking Phlox away, hopefully.
Oh my god, what do you think he did with the corpse?
They sent it into space. We
Oh
watched
yeah,
it
that's
happen.
right. Okay, but we don't know.
What did he do before they shot it into space?
Yeah, we don't know. Actually, that's the thing. If I'm Trip, I'm just
what
like...
did T'Pol do before?
No!
No, she did all she was gonna do. We saw what she did.
But yeah, I'd like
we
to...
know what she did.
I'd like to think, Trip is looking at Sim like, huh. Hey, Doc, just, say the other bitch just in case, why let him go.
That's true. It's full of organs. Come on.
They maybe got a bunch of backup Trip bits.
I think Chris was talking about his pecker.
I meant his organs.
Oh, I thought you meant his pecker. That's
I'm just assuming that Phlox,
saved it
took
for
everything
me.
out. Like he's just stuffed with newspaper right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, he's just got a drawer full of spare Trip pieces, like parts of the Clonus horror. What the hell are we talking about? Well...
Wow, yeah, insert this where it's appropriate in the episode.
Oh no, this will be how we segue into the intro.
It's not fucking appropriate anywhere in the episode.
Yeah, we're gonna... Ready? 3, 2, 1, theme.
Ugh. Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By. This is our super quick episode because Jake has diarrhea. My name's Caitlin, and with me today are...
Oh God, it hurts!
Hold it in, Jake! Hold it in!
Hi, folks. I hear Jake's in a rush. That's kind of a shame, because I'm feeling really mellow. This is Chris.
I'm gonna tell a long, meandering story about Batman or some fucking shit.
I don't think you could make yourself go as far off as the rest of us do, even on purpose.
No,
well, anyway, that was Chris and Ames.
Hey.
Moving steadily on. This is episode 347.
Wow. Holy shit.
Right now?
Holy it in.
Today, we're talking about 2 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
I wish.
Voyager?
Nice?
Oh, I also wish.
The animated series?
Maybe?
Oh my god, it's Enterprise!
No!
And we'll be discussing episodes Similitude and Carpenter Street. In Similitude...
Oh no, that's Baker Street. Didn't we release this song like 3 weeks ago?
It's a good
In
song.
reference
It
to
is.
this episode, I think.
Oh, did? Okay.
Never
So
get
maybe
to-
it was last week. Sorry, go on.
Thank you. So I feel blessed because this is like the 2 most simple episodes ever. Like I got thrown a real softball this week. So in Similitude, there's a boom boom in engineering and
Reed did a boom boom.
Reed did a boom boom, and Trip suffered some serious burns,
Bodily harm.
Brain issues.
Yeah, and he's got head traumas.
He also fell off the catwalk.
Well, that's where he got the head traumas.
The rest of his body should be like molten.
But he's
I
too
bet
sexy for his shirt.
So sexy, it hurts. But he doesn't know that it hurts because he's in a coma.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. And,
Coma chameleon.
Jake is so singy today.
You're on it. I love it. Aren't you the one that has the shits?
I don't actually have the shits. I was just...
Oh, I thought you were serious.
If I had the shits, I'd be shitting. I'm not going to sit through an hour-plus long thing shitting
Jake,
my pants.
You might have had the shits half an hour ago,
That's
and
true.
it was a real warning, and you were like, listen, this is a fucking ticking time
I'm a
bomb.
one-and-done man, okay?
I'm
not the kind of guy that runs back and forth all day.
Okay, so Trip's fallen off the warp core, his bones are powder, then what?
What does Phlox say?
I think he says fucking Sieg Heil, that fucking sick
Sorry.
fuck.
Fucking Phlox.
Alright,
man.
anyway, let's try again. Ames, ask me
Don't
what
let
Phlox
Archer
says.
off the hook.
I'm gonna blame Phlox first, and then Archer
Well, yeah,
second.
they're both horrible.
Well, mostly because... Well, here's the thing. Okay, let me just get through this thing really
You said
fast.
it was gonna be easy.
Yeah, it would be easy with normal co-hosts. Anyway, Trip's in a coma, and Phlox is like, well, Captain, you know, there is a way we could replicate his body with these weird symbiotes. No, we didn't steal just the Trill idea and change it slightly. This is a whole new thing. And actually, it is a whole new thing. But anyway, we have this...
Phlox voice.
No, I can't...
It's
the cadence. It's not the voice. It's I don't know.
The cadence,
He's got a cadence that I'm trying for. Anyway, but really I should be going, listen, Captain, we have a very good way to do. So, hey, listen, this literally, we could sum this up in a sentence, okay? Trip's in a coma, the doctor's like, hey, you know, there's this thing, and there's this symbiote thing, and we could we could basically turn it into a clone of Trip. And you might think that's weird, but they really only live for 15 days anyway. What's the big fucking deal? And Archer's like...
We're not gonna torture it or anything.
Archer's like, and he'll be okay? You can do it without hurting him? Yes, Captain. Are you gonna finish that celery? And T'Pol's like, you know they've made this illegal in the council. And Archer's like, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm the new sheriff in town.
That was last week.
What?
North Star.
So they grow a Trip clone, and I gotta say, and this isn't really a summary piece, but like, man, the kid they got looked just fucking like him, right?
They got some good kids.
That was impressive. I was like, holy
casting.
shit, dude. So anyway, 10 points to casting door, or are they casting puffs? Either way, we got young Trip, and he's growing up like really fast. Like within 5 days he's full grown Trip, and he's got a full grown boner for T'Pol, which he like feels the need to tell her about, which is great. But what's weird is like he's got all of Trip's memories.
That's
which
how science works.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because
Right.
there are certain things that DNA like has encoded in, like, you know, the
accent,
drive,
evidently.
yeah,
Yeah.
the drive to knowing that your parents call you Trip. I'm like, no. But like, you know, knowing to go back home to spawn and shit. Like there are certain things.
Where's Trip gonna go spawn?
I don't know.
You gotta ask
Florida's
T'Pol.
been exploding.
I think it's gonna be gross, and that's exactly where you spawn too. Ugh, it's all damp and gross. I would say no offense to Florida, but fuck Florida, really. Anyway, he's growing up, and the crew likes him, and everybody likes him, and the captain likes him, and that was one thing that was interesting. He doesn't call him captain. Did you notice that? I feel like he called him captain a couple
That's
times.
what I was talking about years ago.
I didn't notice that.
This is the one I was thinking of. This is where he says
shit.
captain.
That's
It was-
amazing.
He said Cap'n a couple of times.
Younger Trip said
Yeah.
captain, but then full sim.
You're telling me that fucking he doesn't know why his nickname is Trip, but he says captain?
Well, here's the thing.
Well, hold on. Let's finish the summary.
Yeah, finish
Yeah, let me
summary. I
just
haven't, but I'm
so-
gonna hold that thought.
Hold that thought. So, to finish the summary, we're all really fond of... Oh, his name is Sim, sorry. They try to think of a name, and they come up with Sim, which is like, the fuck, Phlox? Why don't you just name him Subject Number 69, you fucking creep?
Ooh, nice.
Anyway, everybody really likes him, and guess what? It turns out they're gonna have to kill him to save Trip. Who fucking could have seen this coming? And he starts being like, well, why should I die, Captain? I'm Trip. I didn't put him in a coma. And they're like, ha, whatever, asshole. Get on the table. We're doing this.
Don't forget the information Phlox kept from Archer.
Oh, that's
about
right.
this.
That's right. That's right.
Prick.
Trip
Fucking prick.
Trip to the second power is like, well, what about the time that they figured out that there might be a way to slow down the aging process? And Phlox is like, what is that, science? We don't believe in that on this ship. There were very small amounts of information. It was inconclusive. It's only a slight chance. And Trip's like, don't I deserve a chance? And they're like, no. Sorry, Sim is like, don't I deserve a chance? And they're like, no. And so right before it's time for surgery, T'Pol like makes out with him real fast and is like, I miss you. I'll miss you a lot. It's going to affect me that you're leaving. And then they kill him. And they strip his body of organs and meat that Trip needs, and they shoot him apparently out of the ship. And the end.
Yeah, and then real Trip wakes up and is like, what the fuck did I miss, guys? Why am I on a gurney? Oh, God.
So what I was going to say, before I let it slip my mind,
Good.
I have a theory, though. I think that Connor Trenier was consciously trying to make a different, create a different performance for Sim.
Absolutely.
But the younger actors were probably just coached to emulate Connor Trenier as Trip.
That's a good point.
So that's why the younger performers say Cap'n.
Yeah.
But Connor says
Also,
Captain.
Also, this Sim has grown past Trip's programming.
Exactly.
Effectively. Once he has memories of right before Trip got in a coma, you're like, you're past where we already knew. You have evolved past normal Trip.
Yeah, that's why I think it works, that younger ones are just more sort of copies, but the older one is kind of his own dude.
And I think we can let's just acknowledge up front, and we can talk about it if we need to, but let's acknowledge up front that the science in this episode is like among the worst in Star Trek.
I mean, this is some Assassin's Creed level, like, oh yeah, no, we can put you in a machine and you can relive your ancestors' memories exactly.
It's like a Dune thing too, like the Bene
True.
Gesserit.
Yeah, but at least they've got weird space magic to help them have all that weird
That's
shit.
true.
You know?
Well, yeah, they have spice magic.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. I mispronounced it. Sorry.
So this one, there's first of all, I think Connor Trenier did a great job as Sim, especially when he was like, what about me?
Oh yeah, like the whole ethical dilemma. Oh, by the way, directed by LeVar Burton.
That's right.
I think it kind of shows.
Also, I noticed the writer on this episode. We have officially entered the Manny Koto era.
Now, why is that significant?
The what?
Remind me who that is.
He died recently,
Oh, that's a shame.
which is a shame. But he, I think, is the writer that effectively saved this show. Like, we know how bad this show can be.
We've been watching this show, you see.
And he comes in and he starts knocking out bangers like this one. He's got a couple more this season, and I think he takes over as showrunner in season 4.
Oh, so had we gotten a season 5,
It probably would have been really good because he's just really good.
So, and this is interesting because one of the things I kind of appreciated about this one is that the show didn't approve of any of this.
Explain.
Like, when I was talking a while ago about, like, the show seemed to kind of be okay with Archer psychologically torturing a prisoner a few weeks ago.
Right, or genociding a whole race.
Yeah, this episode clearly is not...
You're meant to feel for Sim.
Yeah, you're, like, it is distinctly clear, like, what Phlox and Archer are doing is bad.
Bro, this is some Tuvix shit.
Yeah. Oh, I think
It's
this is
way
way
Well, no,
worse.
yeah, I mean,
Worse.
I'm just saying that killing him for his meat
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty.
Tuvix-
It's definitely like he is obviously the sympathetic character, and he's so fucking likable. It's like, how could you make Trip more likable? Oh, there he is.
There he is. Yeah, like where...
Because this one doesn't have the chip on his shoulder somehow.
Yeah, that's interesting, even though he has all the same memories.
Maybe he
But-
didn't have time to get that in his DNA yet. Go ahead, Ames. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just interrupted you 8 times.
That's
Go.
I'm very used to it.
I know.
Where Tuvix is an accident that they had
Yeah.
to deal with, and the ethical dilemma was there for the audience to have the ethical dilemma with everyone. Sim was a choice.
Yeah.
And it was a bad choice. And it also confuses me. Like, is this the only one of these larva things that Phlox has?
Hopefully.
When he learns that Sim won't survive the surgery because they would have to take too much brain
Stuff.
filament from him, I thought for a hot second, make 12 more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ship of trips.
Ooh, a trip
Well,
ship.
like also even if we assume that they wouldn't have had to have killed him to do the procedure, he's still got a very limited lifespan. So like they created something that they know is not going to live very long.
And that it would be aware of that.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm a fucking mayfly, basically.
Leave him in, like, growing up in a tube or something.
Yeah, or
Don't let him talk to the crew.
Put him in an induced coma, until
yeah, really, why not knock him out and just let him grow naturally?
Yeah,
he doesn't need to
why
live
let
out.
him,
yeah, that's
'cause
crazy.
A, you got the crew attached to him.
Yep.
And then you also like have a human being with hopes and dreams and aspirations, and you're dead.
You know what it reminds me of? I'm gonna bum everybody out now.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So in the the Russians were doing their space thing. I guess it was probably the 60s. And they didn't start with people, they started with animals.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the first animals that they like shot into space was this little Jack Russell Terrier named Laika.
Oh, Laika.
And before they shot Laika into space, she was a street dog. They took her in off the street, and the head scientist took her home for the weekend and showed her the good life, and then shot her into space where her fucking capsule overheated and she died horribly.
Yeah.
So that's what this gave me big Laika vibes.
Well, and
No,
there's
I get that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I referenced it earlier. There's this awful movie that was on Mystery Science Theater called Parts the Clonus Horror, where it's like a bad 70s film, but basically it was an island full of people who were clones of the rich and powerful.
Oh, is it like
yeah.
Island?
Yeah.
So that, yes, because actually that's...
The Island?
Yes.
Which one that
The
is?
funny part is, the makers of Parts the Clonus Horror successfully sued The Island for being an unauthorized remake.
Oh,
Was
funny.
the island did you say it was M. Night?
No, but it
It's
was...
got DiCaprio in it, I think.
No, I think it's McGregor and John.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't
right.
that Shutter Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, But anyway, yeah, so it's basically like rich people have clones of themselves living on this island, being like, kept healthy, training, and kept...
unaware.
Unaware. Like, they are all, like, they're all adults at this point, basically, but they have, like, they're basically, like, childlike.
They're like, every couple of months, one of us leaves the island.
Oh, they get to go to America to live the good life, but it means they're gonna be... It's funny, too.
It's like, fascinating movie.
But yeah, but they, like... And it's funny, because, like, again, they will... When someone needs a part, that person's clone is grabbed and harvested. And it's funny, because, like, again, they could totally just knock these people out first, but they go out of their way to, like, do it in this horrible way that the clone is horribly aware that something is viciously wrong. Yeah.
I read this or saw on the news recently that they have successfully transplanted the first pig
kidney
into a human.
Well,
like it was a specially bred pig with like human compatible something.
It's fascinating.
I
just read about that like last week. It was really recent.
It was recent. It was like Harvard, I think, did it.
Pigs are very close to us genetically, apparently.
Which is why they're so delicious.
Mm-hmm. But but yeah, this is a deeply fucked up. Like,
it's a fascinating conversation to have. I'm unsure what I think of like the episode itself, because every time you start thinking about some of the things they do, you're like, yeah, but that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, that I think, like Jake said, you just have to. Yeah. You gotta put that out of your mind.
Okay, here's the other question then. Why Trip? Why do we have to so badly save Trip when, he could just die any fucking day? But we decide, nope, we have to do something immoral to save Trip when we have other engineers.
Well,
right?
I think we do, but I think that the writers were clever because you could ask that question,
and I just did.
But by putting
the ship
in peril, by putting them in that nebula where they were getting encrusted of all that garbage.
Trip is the only one who can figure it out.
Sim was the only Sim figured out how to get the ship out of the danger. So
because Sim used Trip's memories and thought, ban her.
Yeah. So like I think that if the ship wasn't in immediate peril, then you could, I think, make that argument that, okay, another, I'm
going to keep making that argument. Because I feel like other engineers would figure this out.
You can certainly make that argument, I'm sure. But it's wrong.
No!
Because in the episode, none of the other engineers figured out how to get the ship out of the nebula.
But when we decided to clone Trip, we didn't know that he would be the only one with this kind of knowledge intelligence.
At that time, we didn't think that we didn't know that the nebula was going to destroy us in as short a time as it would have. We thought it was like, okay, we need Trip to fix the ship.
Instead of teams of engineers.
So for me, the answer was simple, because I had the similar thoughts, like, why does it matter that much?
Right.
And what it comes down to, really, is just
Someone needs to fuck to Paul.
John is being selfish.
Oh, well,
it's his best friend. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to. Had it been Reed...
Porthos is his friend.
Had it been Reed or Hoshi or like anyone else, that's a shame.
If it was
good thing we have backups.
If it was
Mayweather, like Phlox would have been like, well, I can clone Mayweather with this symbiote, and Archer would be a who?
More like if it was Mayweather, it would be fucking 3 weeks before anybody even noticed. That's what I was thinking.
But like literally, because I had a similar thought. I was like, does it really matter? Oh no, because it's John's friend, and John is selfish and horrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that another thing that both the writers and the director, Mr. LeVar Burton, did well is depicting Archer negatively in this.
Yeah, like I said, there is no question he is fucking up in this episode, which I am very grateful for.
He yells in Sim's face, like, I will kill you, don't make me do it.
They even had, I feel like maybe this, because they're now in HD, I mean, I guess they were always in HD, but whatever. I happened to notice that he had a little more 5 o'clock shadow, which I think gave him a more sinister.
Who did?
Archer.
Well, who has time to shave when your best friend is dying?
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. I think that they were very deliberate.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Chris, like where previous episodes would have tried to make this somehow heroic on Archer's part, like, oh, the captain did the whole nice thing.
Yeah.
This episode is very conscious of, no, this is the wrong thing. We're not showing you this isn't a hero moment. This is just what happened moment.
Yeah, similar to Tuvix in that regard, in that you're meant to think like, oh God, poor Tuvix.
I think.
Oh God, poor Sim.
But here's the thing: one thing that Tuvix had that this didn't was a character who did have a moral compass, and because in Tuvix, the doctor didn't want to have anything to do with killing him. Like, he shut himself off to avoid having to participate in the murder.
I kind of found it a little fascinating that, because they just let Sim walk about, do the thing, talk to the other crew members. Like, he talks with Reed at some point, and Reed's like, so what's it like, having all these swells of memories every couple of hours when you age into the new age? And he's like, well, it's fucking weird.
I'm gonna tell you, it sucks.
But there's no, awkwardness on the crew members, because they know you're not gonna be around much longer. Especially when they know he's gonna die.
I feel like that would make it, immediately more awkward. Yeah. Like, oh wow, you have all the real memories of a real person that we know?
Oh, you remember that time we were both hornswoggled on Risa?
I think probably...
I might have to kill you myself.
For most of the crew, they, consciously they know, okay, this isn't Trip. Because he looked and acted like Trip, I think that they were...
And had accent.
happy to bury that thought.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry, I know I have a thought sound.
I watched the face, where's the thought? Nope, it's gone.
There it goes.
I also gotta throw some props Jolene Blaylock's way. I thought that she acted really well in this episode.
She did.
Like her...
And the next one.
Like her emotional acting... it's one of those things where, a lot of Vulcan actors that are not, familiar, they just read the Cliff's Notes.
Yeah.
Are like, oh yeah, Vulcans have no emotions. And then they just act, like a robot. But the really good Vulcan actors, of which I think there's probably 3 to this point.
I would give Mark Leonard one of them.
He's one of them.
Who are the other 3? Other 2? Spock, Tuvok, and Mark Leonard. Okay, then there's 4.
Oh, now I'm saying.
Okay, we're adding a 4th.
I'm contemplating whether we can add. Because
I like Jolene Blaylock.
She started out pretty weak, but she's coming into it.
I was told going into watching the show that she was going to be terrible. And I have never found her terrible.
No, but
she's a little flat in the beginning, but she improved, and she improved quickly.
And she's
faster than Dax.
And in this one, you can really see. I feel it's almost Mark Leonard-esque in the way that you can tell that she's really struggling with the emotions. She gets misty-eyed, and again, you can't she's never crying, but you can see it in her face.
Yeah.
Her eyes kind of gloss over, and it's just like, ooh.
And when the Vulcan is the one telling you that your mad science experiment is unethical and fucked up, you have fucked up.
I don't feel like they do that much unethical scientific shit, do they?
Well, no, but I feel like this could, this seems like the kind of thing some Vulcans might be like, yeah, needs of the many, man. This little 2-week clone, whatever.
I also, I did read somewhere that someone says, notice how it's T'Pol and not Phlox telling Archer that this is a practice that's been made illegal on certain worlds.
Yeah. Well, and Phlox is just miserable.
I hate the man.
Because he doesn't tell that to Archer up front, and he must know, and...
He assumes it will work without any reason.
He assumes it'll work, and then withholding the information about the potential treatment for the aging thing.
Well, I mean, Jake, this is obviously evolution. Wants them to die in 15 days.
Yeah,
you know how we feel about evolution in this house.
Heavy stuff aside for just a moment.
No.
They don't
More heavy stuff.
They don't have replicators.
But they have replicants.
Where did the children's clothes come from?
Quartermaster.
Daniels' room. They just reached into that void again and found material.
That was the one thing. I was like, wait a minute. Where did they get the kids' clothes?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Trip says his favorite dessert, or that he learns, after having some, is key lime pie. But I thought it was pecan pie.
So did I.
Oh, I don't remember that. I thought it was.
They're both great.
I like all pie.
Maybe at that time. Well, no, because he was an adult when he figured it out. I don't know.
I thought it was catfish pie.
Gross.
Yeah.
I A savory pie could work, though.
I don't know about fish pie. I don't know.
I bet there are fish pies.
There certainly are.
No, I know there are fish pies. I'm saying I don't want them necessarily.
No, it's fair. It's fair.
I'm not saying no one would ever do that. I'm sure they would.
We did start off the episode with more
Yeah.
massage time with T'Pol, and I wrote down, how do you find a way to do a foot rub but still show off T'Pol's ass? They found a way!
Yep. That aside, I do appreciate that, like, the way they're performing it at this stage is just that it is very matter of fact. Like, even though the script is clearly treating it as hot, the actors are treating it as just a procedure. Like, they're talking...
That happens to be hot.
But I appreciate that they're not leaning into what the show clearly wants them to lean into. At least at the moment.
I was gonna say, until they... Yeah?
I don't remember.
You're lying, you remember. He's lying, he remembers.
So, what's the deal...
With that?
What's the deal with Star Trek shows torturing their engineers?
Oh no!
Because
that's what they get for not being real officers.
Trip is starting to become this series O'Brien in that, like, and it's mostly because he's just a likable character.
Reed's gotten tortured a bit.
Reed's had some brushes,
He had
but like
his leg impaled.
But like Trip's been pregnant. He's been killed now.
Well, it's also clear that Connor Trenier is one of the like spotlight characters of the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we get to the next episode and the rest of the cast isn't even invited to fucking filming days, but Trip does get to show up briefly. It's like, okay, we know why people are showing up. They're showing up because they want to see T'Pol's ass and they want to see Tucker's abs, and that's it.
And Trip's pee-pee bulge. And I'm here for Trip's pee-pee bulge.
Pee-pee bulge. And also, you know what? Both these episodes this week, excellent to see Porthos.
Yeah.
Always good to see Porthos.
Oh, he's a good boy.
Team Breezy. Go Breezy.
I do feel like, had this been Reed instead of Trip,
no one would care.
Reed clone would have been like, oh, well, you have to kill me. That's fine.
No,
Yeah.
he would.
Please, no.
I've been begging for death.
Please, no, here, here, give me the gun.
15
I
days is 15 days too many as far as I'm concerned.
I won't hurt the brain. I know you need that, but just let me, there we go, and...
No, it would have been like, there would have been a scene while they're doing the surgery, and Phlox comes out, and he's looking all maudlin. He's like, I'm afraid the symbiote died. And everybody would be like, oh my god, we really liked Sim Reed. And they'd be like, well, yeah, but after the surgery, he just committed suicide.
No.
Oh, that was one thing I liked. The subtle reference to Shuttle Pod 1.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
I can think one thing worse. Being stuck in it with Reed. I mean, yeah, Reed. It was like, I see what you did there. You remember that. It was awful.
Did you guys notice that Mayweather got to do a thing today?
He did.
And that Archer actually fought for Mayweather to be the one to do the thing?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, he was flying one of the shuttlecraft.
One of the shuttlecraft. So Sim says, I want to be one of the ones that flies a shuttlecraft. And Archer's like, we need your brain, so no. Fucking no.
Tough titty, I make the decisions around
I'm going to
here.
have Mayweather do it, because I remembered his name today.
Yeah, and like, I get why Sim wanted to do it, because he came up with the idea.
If it were normal Trip, we let him do whatever, even though he might die.
But, you're not... I wouldn't... Even if it was just Trip, it still would be a bad idea to put, like, the chief engineer in that position.
But he would have let him.
Especially if you're willing to grow and kill a symbiote to replace him, and, if he gets into a coma, shouldn't be sending him out on this highly dangerous mission.
I feel like Phlox has been dying for an excuse to try this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was pretending to be reluctant, but he was like,
and definitely right after they get home and people learn about this thing, they ban it, like, universe-wide.
There's going to be a new law.
Like, I was going to say, like, what are times in future, chronologically, episodes where this would have saved the day? Picard's heart. One of Worf's spines. What else have we got?
By the time we get to the future, we have replicated technology, like Worf's spine, right? They just replicated a new one.
Yeah, but we could clone him and take organs.
Well, that's the thing, really.
That's funner.
Like, store-bought is fine if you can't make your own, but...
That's the thing we really have to, again, like, the bad science aside, there's also just the fact that, like, let's be realistic. By the mid-22nd century, they probably can just... like, it's so weird in retrospect that Picard has a mechanical heart. Like, you're telling me by the 24th...
Pig's heart, come on.
By the 24th century, they can't just grow a human heart?
Well, but
like, without you grow a whole human?
But here's the thing, though. For an organ like a heart, I have no question that the mechanical heart is probably going to be superior to the human
Except
heart.
that one time.
Well, except it has to be, like, replaced periodically.
Yeah, maintained.
But, like, again, if he'd been shot in the chest with a normal heart, there's a good chance he would have got killed too. I know in that like Q, I think, was playing really cheeky in that episode because
if there's Q at all,
because right. Well, I'm going to say it was because
oh really?
Q says you would have survived if you had a human heart. He's not saying you would have survived the favorite phaser blast. He's saying you would not have. You would have been such a loser. You wouldn't have been in a position to get shot.
But I just mean, in general, like when you think about it, like, I mean, we're working on it now. I'm sure by the 24th century they could just grow organs.
Yeah. Yeah, like any basic organ, I think would be a heart. A liver, kidney.
Maybe you could argue possibly brain tissue is too complicated even by then, but so you could maybe still have this episode, but some of the rest of it is just like, come on, you can't grow a heart. Like, so maybe they offered him one, he's like, no, give me the fucking robot, I need a fucking RoboCop captain. Or Robo-Lieutenant, I guess, at the time.
Captain.
But yeah, I had horribly misremembered this episode. I forgot how, actually good it was.
Yeah, I give Trenier, a lot of credit. Like, he is very fun to watch in a very slightly different role than his usual role. Like, I do give him and LeVar credit for finding those little differences. I wish I'd noticed Captain. God damn it. I might have to go back and rewatch, because that's
He actually says it twice, which I forgot about.
I was going to say, I only noticed it, the one time, but I was I was startled by it. It, shook me.
Yeah, that's when I mentioned ages ago that we hear him say Captain, and it's clearly a very conscious decision.
One thing I kind of wish they had done is not given him the accent. If Sim had just had, if Sim had had just a more generic American accent.
Connor Trenier without the accent, because we saw him in a couple things recently, because he comes up in the Terminator show.
Yeah, he's in Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, and he's in Sliders.
Yeah, and he pops up, and suddenly he's just talking, like, who is this man?
So is the accent fake in this, or
I'm pretty sure the accent in this is fake.
He does not speak that way.
Oh wow! See,
I still have to listen to his and Reed's podcast, because they do seem delightful.
They have a podcast together?
Yeah, they do. I think
the Shuttlepod Show.
Yeah, the Shuttlepod Show. I think Dominic Keating leaves it at some point, but I haven't listened to it yet.
That's
but
Trip?
I do.
No, that's
Reed.
That's Reed.
Oh,
Trip is Connor Trenier.
Oh right, I knew that.
I think they recently had Terry Farrell on as a guest.
Oh, nice.
I feel like someone from Deep Space Nine, but don't quote me.
I think they mostly talk about Star Trek related.
Yeah,
stuff.
they have guest stars and shit. They're not like a rewatch show like the Delta Flyers.
Yeah.
Which I also have to catch back up on, because I know that since they finished Voyager, they've moved on to Deep Space Nine, and that should be fun.
Oh hey, that's a great show.
Yeah.
I loved Archer. Archer was just so every single emotion at once when he finds Sim in Trip's quarters, and he's like, how long have you been coming in here? Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to be in here. And Sim says, these are my quarters.
My room, bitch.
And Archer screams at him, these are Trip's quarters. And I had a visceral response to that. I was like, ooh, ouch, pain.
Yeah, I have to give, I'm giving everybody in the cast this week gets a gold star.
Everybody gets mad props.
Even Anthony Montgomery.
But he didn't do much, but he was great.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
John Billingsley, Phlox.
The slimiest asshole.
He was, exactly.
I think he does a great job. The character's just awful.
We've had actual Nazis on this show before, and he's worse.
And Scott Bakula, who I feel is pretty poor a lot of the time. He stepped it up a notch in this one.
I hate the choice that I would be very interested to see if they did do the let's give Sim the longevity pill and let normal Trip die. Would be interesting to me. But I see why they didn't do it.
But I think that they really were trying to build that expectation, which again, I give credit to the writer on that, is that like throughout the whole episode, you're kind of wondering, oh, are they like, because they did the thing with the memories returning, they're like, oh, are they going to flip this on its head at the last minute and be like, Trip died and now Sim is here?
I kind of wondered that too.
Like, because they could have done that, and they could have even been like, Sim could be like, well, I am him. I'm just, please call me Trip.
Yeah. I'm him, but except I make out with DePaul on occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
If she didn't know he was going to die, you think she'd have done it?
No.
No.
And she's certainly not going to tell the other Trip that she knows now.
But does she know? I mean, like, what does she actually, like, are we sure that she knows anything? Or, I mean, you know?
What?
That real Trip
has a crush on her?
Yeah. That it seems very likely that the real Trip has a crush on her.
I think she has the crush on him, too, though. And I think that's...
I'm for it. They're both very pretty. They should smash.
Yeah, I think...
I would love to watch.
And I think that's what they've been building to with the massage plot, is that, like, oh, they're trying to establish a romantic...
It's like, I hate the massage plot, but I like them, so damn it.
Alternately, they find a way to keep Sim alive, and then it's like, oh, actually, Trip's gonna be fine, and suddenly, double Trip!
Yay! Like in Farscape!
That's actually kind of what I was expecting, but I didn't think they'd obviously keep a second Trip.
Yeah.
Or maybe they put him in a freezer or something, I don't know.
But what they did a really, I don't want to spoil Farscape too much.
Love it. I love it so much.
There's a plot in Farscape where the main character gets copied.
And they keep him.
And he's,
for a long time.
Right. And then, like, you know...
I love that.
And eventually, one of them goes away.
And the two of them have, like, I know I'm the real one, and you're also the real one, because we're exact copies.
Yeah, it's like...
We're both the real one. Shit.
Yeah, it's a Riker type scenario where it's not like they're exact copies. So yeah, I think it would have been interesting, and you know, since they're kind of doing
budget for that.
Since they're doing a season-wide arc, sort of with this whole Xindi thing, you now have not only do you have two Trips, you also have a disposable Trip, right? Like at some point, you can just be like, yeah, Trip. One of these is gonna die, and you know,
don't know which one. Place your bets.
Maybe Sim does enter a relationship with T'Pol in like an actual relationship, and there's like a jealousy, like old Trip and Sim.
No, you're just spoiling Farscape.
And then, oh yeah, that is pretty much.
On the other hand,
Farscape, isn't it?
We could just have a T'Pol sandwich with 2 Trips for bread, and then everybody's happy.
Toasty.
And by everybody, I mean me. I'm happy.
When Phlox was like, we got to come up with a name for him, I was kind of hoping he'd be like, let's call him Quad.
Oh, like for 4 instead of 3? Okay, alright, I get it now.
Ah.
I hate that. I love you, but I don't like that.
Well, I know. I was like, what's the stupidest thing he could come up with?
Now I just think...
And somehow he outdid you, because Sim, really?
Now the question here is Ames, are you going to make a Sim Trip in The Sims and have him live his life?
I actually haven't played The Sims in quite a while now, because I know when I play it, I will play until 3 in the morning every night.
Fair.
The last thing I wanted to have touch on as a topic of conversation is, what did you guys think of Sim making the decision to let himself be sacrificed? Because I know that's like the flip of Tuvix, in that Tuvix didn't want to die.
He gets dragged away.
But Sim comes to understand and makes, at least, is a little bit forced into the decision by Archer and Phlox a lot. But it is his choice.
Yeah. I think it does it does change it a little bit from the Tuvix situation because of that, but I feel like there's also a fair amount of coercion going on there.
For sure.
Well, he doesn't really make the choice so much as he gets to decide to go instead of being Tuvix. Like,
I could just blow my brains out and fuck you guys.
He's literally already been told, like, you're fucking doing it. You're going in the car. Yeah. He knows. You know?
He even said, like, where, like, I could have escaped on the shuttle pod, but where would I have gone?
Bizarre world.
I was thinking he should have, instead of trying to steal a shuttle pod, he should have stolen the Suliban.
Oh yeah.
Unless that thing comes up again, I'm going to assume that when they were doing the whole upgrade to the Enterprise between seasons, that they removed it and it is in like Area 51.
I think what happened was somebody accidentally cloaked it and they haven't been able to find it again.
Okay, I like that one. That one's good.
Like if somebody will just be like walking in some forgotten cargo bay and just smack their face on something at some point and be like, what the fuck?
It's actually, Reed knows exactly where it is, and that's where he just goes and hides to cry every so often.
Yep, accurate. Eat pineapple cake.
Mm-hmm. That got weird, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think too, part of it is just like, he knows he's not going to live beyond 2 weeks.
And there's no way he can get Phlox to make it.
I was going to say, especially
right, he doesn't know how to
fucking tries.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to make the enzyme. No one's going to let anyone else do it. So he's like, I might as well have a legacy, I guess.
Now, like, I'm not trying to say that Phlox was right, that they shouldn't try this, like, possibly hopeless thing. But, like, even if they did find an enzyme that extends their life, like, we have no idea, like, what kind of havoc that would wreak. Like, if he, I mean, just because he's living longer doesn't mean he's, like, feeling good, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess his point would be...
I should at least get a chance.
Yeah. It's you know what it is? It's actually really consistent for Phlox because it's the same. It's very similar to the decision that he made in Dear Doctor, in that it's like, well, I don't know. It's gonna we should just let things play out naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After I've totally fucked with nature.
Yep.
Wormhole aliens take the wheel.
Yeah.
That is more ethical than anything Phlox does.
Yeah, this is really bad.
He is the worst.
It's real bad. I mean...
But people fucking love this character.
I know. Like, I know some of those people.
Everyone on Facebook or like various other websites and stuff are like, Phlox is my favorite from Enterprise, and he's just so interesting and different and has a different perspective. I'm like, yeah, but his perspective is fucking genocide and killing people.
He is the worst.
Doesn't think of his patients. He decides, oh, where are we going to let Sim grow up? And my thought was, Trip's room.
Quarters, yeah.
And he says, no, let's raise him here in sickbay, right next to his adult body, that I'm just going to tell him, don't go look at.
Which he never did. Good
Stay
lad.
out of the West Wing, bitch.
Trip is a good kid.
Yeah. Speaking of dodgy ethics.
Next.
You would call this just dodgy?
Doggy.
Aw, because Porthos gets some cheese.
There was 2 dogs in this episode. There was Porthos and there was
the dog in the car.
Car dog.
That was like, that
Tried to
recognized
kill
Archer for what he was.
And I was like, wow, this is Detroit.
An asshole.
What is happening? Alright, Carpenter Street. Carpenter Street opens on a dude, apparently his name's Loomis, thank you, Ames. And he is a blood bank employee, but he's also moonlighting as a sex worker abductor for the Zindi.
Whoopsies.
I know. This one took a turn.
What era are we in?
I guess it's 100. Would they say 150 years? So 2004.
It's 2004.
Oh, the current age.
Yes.
Great, good. So it's 2004. And yeah, so this little fucking dweeb who I thought that I recognized him. First I thought he was the guy that you really loved from Voyager, the Mentat. First I thought it was him because it was very dark.
Oh, he'd be good.
And then I thought it was that, you know, the like...
Are we talking about Loomis or somebody else?
Loomis.
Oh.
You know the guy who plays the Russian guy in the Ant-Man movies? Kind of thought it was him for a second.
Yeah,
there was some stuff happening.
I can't think of his name, but he's a good actor too.
No, but this guy is... We have
Someone,
seen him
yeah.
before.
Who is he?
He was
Thrice.
Thrice, you say?
Well, the one I recognized him from immediately was Revulsion.
Yeah, he was Dejarin.
The episode with the really racist hologram character that
had a fish.
Tried to kill B'Elanna, had murdered the crew of the
Voyager.
ship. He was a hologram, kind of looked like Data because he had the same white skin.
Yeah, he's like a hologram superior.
Oh, yeah, and he's hanging with the doctor, and he's like, we could just like kill them all because we're better, or some shit like that.
Yeah, that dick.
Yeah. Okay.
So what else? You said he's been on other things. What else
he was also one of the flaky skinned dudes from Sanctuary.
Gross.
He was one of Hanik's kept men or what have you.
All right, one of her husbands.
And I wrote it down. What was the name of the character?
We love all our husbands.
Lovok, who was the changeling who was pretending to be a Romulan in the Dias cast.
Oh, who helped Garrett escape?
It was the time with you know,
Tane.
What the fuck's Tane and Ogren?
I love Tane.
Oh, that episode! I rewatched that too.
That's such
recently.
a good
That's
one.
the one where he tortures Odo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bad.
Anyway, this
Bad.
episode.
Anyway, onto a less good episode.
But when Odo tells him what secret that he hasn't told anybody, okay.
So Loomis.
Loomis.
So that's Loomis.
Loomis. So yeah, he's a blood bank. Loomis is a blood bank employee, and we open with him having like a sketchy phone call about like, yeah, I'll get you. You have it. Don't kill this one. You almost killed the last one with a sedative. So we cut to him in his car, and he's got a lady of the night approaching his car, a sex worker, and she's like, oh, you looking for a good time? We can park over there. And then he's like, actually, why don't you park in my handful of ether? And she's like, what? Because it's ether. And she knocks her out. I mean, I assume it's ether. I don't know what else it would be. What else could it be? Could be catnip.
Whiteout.
Was she Cation?
Ooh.
Anyway, at first I thought that, like, they said I thought they meant that he had almost killed the last one with the ether. And I was like, yeah, I bet he fucking did, dude. Or what's the other one it could be, though? There is another one that you can use to...
Chloroform.
That's it, thanks.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Are they different? They must be, huh? Who knows? Tell us, readers. Ether, chloroform, same thing? Anyway, this is taking too long, I'm sorry. Listen, I don't want to hear it from
We're
you.
We're still in the teaser.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, this is after the theme song. He just has the phone call before the theme song. And then the theme song happens. And then he gets his lady.
Oh, that's right. Because before the theme song, we see who he's talking to on the phone,
and it's one of them Zindies. So anyway, so Daniels,
that dick,
that
fucking Daniels is back.
Daniels finally shows up, and he's like, "You changed my room."
Daniels is back, and he says,
"Moved out."
I have some exposition to tell you to make this episode work.
Daniels, why are you still wearing a Starfleet uniform?
Don't worry about it.
It's like Q.
It is kind of.
So I recognize you.
Otherwise, what if he is Q? What if he's a Q?
That would make his character make more sense, honestly.
All right, well then I'm in. Anyway, so Daniels shows up and he's like, bro, the Zindi are on the planet 150 years ago, fucking shit up, so you gotta go and take care of that. Okay.
Why don't you do it, Daniels? Fuck you.
Which T'Pol actually says. T'Pol's like, he can travel all over the place, and Archer's like, he's busy. She's like, he literally has all the time in the fucking world. He does time travel. And Archer's like, ... Shut
up!
Whatever, get dressed, bitch. So they go to the past, and they get this guy. They catch him by doing like a scan of the whole city and going like around in a car. Good job, guys. Good driving.
Archer can drive cars.
I like that T'Pol's like, you didn't turn your lights on. I'm like, how'd you know that was a thing, T'Pol? How the fuck would you know about it?
Because she saw other cars with their lights on.
Oh, okay, well, fine.
And the fact that Archer figured out, because to be frank, like, cars are not intuitively like designed.
No.
Finding which fucking thing does the headlights.
Yeah. Your headlights are off, Archer. Then it shows outside the car and just the windshield wipers turn on.
That'd be a good joke. I'd like that.
Well, they did that in Star Trek 4.
With the windshield wipers?
Sulu turns the windshield wipers on in the Huey.
Oh, that'd be a good callback.
Well, but the thing is, they couldn't make that joke again because they already made him scramble for the radio controls. I don't think.
Anyway.
Anyway,
so we capture Loomis, that dick.
We capture Loomis. He thinks we're cops. We're letting him believe that. And he reveals that the Zindi want people of all blood types for, like, some reason. And T'Pol is
Vampire party.
T'Pol is really bad copping at this episode. Like, she is just calling him a piece of shit to his face, which I love.
What is Archer doing then? Worse copping?
Yeah, that's right. He punches him in the face.
She's just being brutally honest cop. He's being bad cop.
Yeah, but what hurts more?
A punch to the face.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
not from
sharp.
From Scott Bakula?
Back up.
Scott Bakula the fuck up. So anyway,
bad cop and sexy cop.
He's like, we need which one's. Just kidding. It's obvious which one's which. So he's like, yeah, all I need now is B minor and G sharp. I think that's right.
All I need is America.
And Archer's like, well, good news. I'm a B minor and I'm going in. So he does, and a fight ensues, and then a chase ensues, and the Zindi have like a virus that they're gonna unleash on the planet. And for some reason, Archer's like, well, that's no big deal. They only have 6 of the 8. And T'Pol's like, you fucking idiot. That's 75% of people, which isn't true because we don't really know which blood types they have. Some of them don't occur as frequently. Pretty sure.
We know they don't yet have AB-ish.
Which is AB? Is that the universal donor or
no? Universal donor
recipient.
O
negative?
negative?
O negative? Oh, okay, I don't know.
And I think O positive is the universal recipient.
I don't know. I think they shoot the Zindi, and then the cops get Loomis for real, and he's like, "Watch out! They've got ray guns," and they're like, "Ray guns, okay,
There's
buddy."
lizard people.
And then the episode ends, pretty much. I mean, like,
yeah, they don't even go back to the future really. They show us the bodies of the Zindis.
Are they dead?
I assume so.
Oh, good.
well, but we don't know, because the last time we saw them, the stun setting didn't even do shit. So why would we assume the kill setting's gonna work?
Wow.
Yeah,
Archer's like, have Reed come mop this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Loomis is so bad at being a criminal.
Oh, terrible.
Like, he's picked up this woman who says, "Hey, I know a great secluded place for fucking."
Yeah, fucking
You
knock
wait
her
to
out
get
there.
not pull over on the main street. You literally are watching cars go by while he does. It's like, Loomis, she gave you the low kick.
Yeah, but here's
What?
the thing. Like, this is Detroit. No one's gonna give a fuck either way.
I
was
made
just
the same joke.
I was just thinking that too. Like, this is how low regard they hold Detroit in.
Beauregard.
We love Beauregard. He's the best.
But yeah,
section
that's
fan.
just like, dude, what the why wouldn't you wait to get to the secluded area?
This isn't his job. He's normally just a blood bank employee.
Also, like, who wrote this fucking thing? It clearly ran short. We didn't need the, like, I know it was not that long, but it felt like 10-minute getting fast food scene. Like, I was waiting for him to do an escape attempt or something. I was waiting for it to matter. It literally didn't fucking matter.
That was an escape attempt. He probably figured he had a 1 in 10 chance of the food just killing him
but
immediately.
here's the thing. Like, if you're gonna do a time travel to present day episode, you have to have the awkward Vulcan thing. You know, the Vulcan doesn't do human stuff.
As much as, I like Jolene Blaylock, and T'Pol's a good... T'Pol might be my favorite character on this show. Trip is very close. Don't bring the Vulcan.
I know. Why do they all... Yeah, every time...
You have 25 Makos!
So, again, this is because Archer just wanted to rub into her face that time travel is real.
That could be.
This
I
episode is
that.
all Archer's a selfish dick. That's the title.
Both these episodes are Archer wants his friends around.
The other thing I don't get too is when Archer's like, "Hey, T'Pol, let's go on a trip," and she's like, "Why don't you just go with somebody else?"
Like Trip.
8 Makos!
And
Bring all of them!
And he's like, "Well, Daniel said I can only bring one friend."
What rules is Daniel's making?
Willy Wonka rules.
Why would Daniel say that anyway?
Suddenly, Trip comes out of his coma on his own, and he's like, "I've got a golden ticket! You son of a bitch!"
The thing that I find the most stupid about
Daniels.
this episode,
All of Daniels.
is, well, yeah, obviously. But, so the Zindi evidently have time travel capability.
Yeah.
Or their time daddy lets them do it. Or something.
Yeah, but great. Then fucking mission over. Like,
True.
Yeah, go back to it again.
Just do it just keep fucking doing it until it works. And like they were like T'Pol, terrible fucking logic on that Vulcan. She's like, well, if we destroy their time travel device, they won't be able to return to the future. They don't care.
Also, so she assumes they have a time travel device. Do she and Archer have a time travel device?
No, they're just gonna get pulled back.
Why then assume that they have one?
But even if they did,
Arg!
Even if they did, if I was the Zindi, like, I would just have assumed that the Zindi are planning a one-way trip. Because the only thing that they're there to do is to kill humanity.
Did they know that they were making this virus thing to bring back to their present? Or were they going to do it there?
Why would they do that?
Who knows?
That makes no sense.
Yeah,
I don't understand this.
Yeah, it's a dumb episode.
Because here's the thing. They needed to create the virus. They needed all 8 human blood types.
For reasons.
My assumption is that, like, the virus has to, like, a multivalent vaccine, like, it needs to target each of the specific blood types.
Right, because there aren't poisons that kill all people.
Well, right, whatever.
Table flip.
But here's the thing. If they were going to use the virus in the future, why not just get some humans from the future? Why do you go back in time?
Well, the only reason I can think of to go back in time would be if it was going to make it that much easier for you to get away with it.
Well,
and
right.
that said, then
That's
go
Luther.
back to the 60s.
But
what are you doing in 2004?
But like,
Go back to Jesus times.
I assumed it was just like a Borg and First Contact plot where it's like, oh, humans are fucking nothing in the 21st century. Let's just go and fuck their shit up.
The funny part is, you say, go back to the 60s. Everything about Loomis makes it like, until you finally find out it's 2004, it totally could have been the 70s. Because he had that shit-ass old car. He had an avocado green fridge.
And he was eating pizza straight out of his fucking bathroom sink. What the fuck?
Pizza.
But it's clothes, like, everything about
everything never
about
eating
Loomis
at your house again.
was from the 1970s. Like, I think he's also a time traveler.
Yeah, I did read that. So apparently there was a discussion of what time era to put this in, and they chose the current era.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Almost certainly because it's cheaper, but Branagh claims that there was also like a secondary reason. Sure, Branagh.
Oh, sure.
Well, to pick the current era, and that was so that they could make Loomis a more relatable character because people could see.
He's not relatable at all.
But he eats pizza out of the sink. Isn't that relatable?
The bathroom sink.
He's a fucking loser.
Oh, well, that's actually relatable for me.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I think they should have said it in the 1980s, because then...
they could have run into
Kirk
and Spock. They could have done Trials and Tribulations in Alameda.
No, actually, but I have a better idea for something
Literally
like that.
Not possible, but go on.
But I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a bit. And no, they should have said it in the 80s so that when the real cop showed up, it could have been RoboCop.
okay, you win.
RoboCop shows up and shoots the Zindi in the dick.
I also, like, another thing with this whole, like, present era thing is Loomis, fucking moron, again, is like, he assumes these two are cops.
Yes.
It's the early 2000s when human rights have been thrown out the window by this country. He realizes he might be working with terrorists, and he just assumes they're going to treat him well. Like, I'm sorry, Loomis, you're not watching the news?
He got punched in the face several times and then asks for a burger.
Yeah, like, he's
what
like...
What a weird man.
That's actually exactly what you do with cops, though. Usually, if you're helping cops, they'll feed you.
Yeah.
Fast food.
Again, if I'm in his shoes, I'm assuming this is the CIA. I'm going to get black-bagged and sent to Gitmo. Was Gitmo open yet? I don't know. Either way, I assume I'm, going to get sent to a CIA black site and executed.
Was Gitmo not open before 9/11?
Well, yeah, I guess
it was a tourist attraction.
The base was there. I don't know if we were yet using it to illegally jail people.
It still is, Ames, if you know the right people.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's a small note, because I'll knock it off quickly. This is the first Trek episode to be rated TV-14 due to the inclusion of prostitution and drugs.
There weren't actually any drugs, though.
I love that psychologically torturing a man a few weeks ago didn't justify that. But showing a... I fucking hate this country.
Showing a prostitute
exists. This fucking country. Fuck censors. Fuck all of you, you fucking scum.
I love when Chris gets worked up.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think... I'm trying to figure out if this would make this episode better or if I can't. Because I think one of the biggest issues with this episode, because, we've seen the let's go back in time, do a time travel thing, everybody gets to have shenanigans in the past. But in this one, it's only Archer and T'Pol get to have shenanigans in the past. Mm-hmm. We barely have any fish out of water moments, except for figuring out the windshield, the radio or the headlights, which is barely a thing.
Yeah, they're not even fun shenanigans.
So I almost wonder, and again, this is probably not correct, they probably should have just struck this episode. Mm-hmm. Two-parter, bring everybody.
Maybe.
Like Future's End.
Maybe.
Bring in Sarah Silverman.
No, definitely don't do that.
I liked her. I liked her.
I just don't like Sarah Silverman.
The characters on Voyager are all people that we want to see have adventures. On Enterprise, it's like, okay, Archer and T'Pol, maybe Trip, maybe Reed, possibly Hoshi, but no one wants to Phlox have fish out of water.
Oh, I thought you were just singling out Mayweather again.
See, Mayweather goes down and he vanishes. Like, where the fuck is he? He spends all day in a joke shop buying some novelty pranks to bring back.
Yes.
I like
really
that.
Gonna get him with this shocker handshaker,
buzzer,
like a shooting water flower, fake gum.
Yeah. And let's be real, if they were writing this episode and it was, okay, we're going to have everybody in the cast time travel, they would have left Mayweather out.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely
They
would
have been like...
They absolutely would.
Yeah. They're like, so, someone's got to stay on the ship and make sure nothing breaks. But it's time travel. Nope. You're getting to sit in the big chair today. Ooh, goody.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because the second they said, okay, the second it's T'Pol in the past with her hair covering her ears, fucking lazy. Give her a hat at least. She'd look great in a cute hat. Come on.
Well, like a lady's bucket hat, like Spock in the terrible Gary 7 episode.
There are like no good nudges,
References
that this episode could have.
No, wait.
But it's not a comedy like all the other time travel episodes.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like the people who were writing the episode were living in the 2004, so I kind of wonder if that means that like it was hard to see the things that were stupid about 2004.
Well, no, but I mean, the people in all the other time, they were living in the 90s and 86 and the 60s.
I mean, the one thing they had was going to the Burger King or whatever burger place.
And that was just dumb.
And realizing there is no food without meat in it because even the salad has bacon.
No, you can add bacon. I didn't understand why she didn't want it. They just said no, but you could add bacon.
Because someone in there has touched the bacon.
Well, but not only that, but just like she realized that whole kitchen is just lined in animal grease. The lettuce is.
I liked that after they left Burgerland that he offered T'Pol a French fry and she was like no, and he was like have it your way, and I was like, I missed Burger King, nice job.
Oh,
I missed that.
It gave me a little chuckle. I was really paying attention this week. Can you tell?
That's a good one.
French fries are pommes frites.
Pommes frites.
I also like that T'Pol judged Loomis so hard. I mean, at first,
that was hilarious.
Every moment of the day, but then especially when he lights up a cigarette and the acting in Jolene Blaylock's face was, what the fuck is he doing?
Extinguish it now.
Doesn't he understand what that is?
Good. Even the Ferengi were like, they fucking breathe poison? The fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, no, that was, I think, one of the few things I really enjoyed was her just constantly belittling Loomis. Because he
has no ethics.
He's terrible.
Granted, the deal he made with Dameron was pretty decent, because I think $5,000 per person. Pretty good.
And he's still eating bathroom sink pizza?
Well,
would they have actually made good on it? Because where are the Zindi getting money from?
Well, they must have, because they've been paying at time of delivery.
Oh.
Because he said, they were like, we'll pay you for all three once we have them all. And he's like, nuh-uh, you said upon delivery like the last time. So he's already got at least $20,000 from these guys.
They probably have a device like Archer had to go raid a fucking ATM.
Or they're just
but they're fucking lizard monsters.
Yeah, they don't have any.
Speaking of,
they don't have any pockets to put that shit in.
One of the lizard monsters was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
It was, and apparently, wrong notes. This notes. Apparently, this is the episode that made him want to quit acting.
Wow.
Because it was just so hard to act under all the prosthetics. Like we've said before, there are certain actors who can do it. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who at the time wasn't a big name yet, for listeners at home who are like, huh? Negan from Walking Dead. Other things.
Supernatural. He's the father.
I'm sure that's true. Oh, shit.
He's Mr. Winchester?
Yep. We recently also saw him in an episode of Sliders.
Oh.
Everyone is in
Sliders. He's in all kinds of genre stuff now.
But no, if people who can't do it, it's just fucking torture.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when you see him now, it's never under 10 pounds of makeup.
No. 2 pounds. I wouldn't have even noticed it was him.
I saw his name in the credits.
If I hadn't read this note.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen the name in his credits, I never would have realized.
But I feel like this episode just kind of ends, huh?
Yeah.
I kind of felt a little bit that way about the episode before, but not quite as much.
Well, basically, Torpedo went into space.
Well, yeah, but we don't see Trip, do we? Waking up?
Yeah,
they pan over to him
at the funeral.
Oh, okay.
He's at the funeral looking real fucking confused.
Captain, this is fucking surreal. This is some Tom Sawyer shit to the next level.
Did Phlox have the fucking taste to stay away from the funeral? Did we see Phlox?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, he was in the back jerking it the whole time.
Wow.
Probably.
So what was it like talking to me, T'Pol? Fine and logical, nothing happened. What? I didn't ask him that. What?
Yeah, so in fucking Carpenter Street, I think all the Daniel stuff took me out of it fucking immediately because
that's what he always does.
He just shows up to be like, here's the next thing for the episode. And they're like, why don't you help? I don't know. Why don't you know what's going on? And the quote is, I wrote this down because, oh my fucking god.
Oh yeah, this fucking shit.
Back to the Future rules.
It takes a while for changes to ripple through time. Daniels, fucking no. Have you seen 12 Monkeys? Fuck you to death, Daniels.
Well, like I said, it's Back to the Future rules.
He says, it would take too much time for me to fucking help. You have time. I hate you
all
to
the
death,
time in the
Daniels.
world,
Like,
literally.
if the changes haven't rippled through time, how do you know about the Zindi in the past?
Have I said before that he gives me, like, little bitch boy Zuckerberg vibes?
Yes.
Yeah, because I really, that's my big problem with Daniels. I just hate looking at his weaselly little face.
It's so frustrating that the episode realized the flaws in their own logic but couldn't come up with good explanations.
Because there aren't. Because otherwise, because we do need Daniels to give us a reason why we have to go into the past.
Yep.
Because they always need to go into the past because it's Star Trek.
Yeah, but this didn't need to be a time travel
No.
episode.
That's a good point. They could have, but they have to get back to Earth, and they can't while they're in the Expanse.
Or they could, like...
Ugh.
If they had perhaps set up that...
They kidnap all the Makos or something, because they're pointless.
Yeah,
another Mako free.
Yeah, the Zindi captured some humans, and yeah, we have to go rescue the humans that got captured.
But then we don't get to play, dress up in modern clothes.
Yeah, well, because it's stupid. It's like,
It's so stupid.
who wrote this?
I'm pretty sure it was Braga, but I didn't write it down.
Yeah, this is hacky. This is a hacky one.
Yeah, it's not even a fun, goofy time travel episode. It's just, yeah, no.
It was poor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was written by Berman and Braga.
Ugh, there we go.
You can tell because they're the ones who are like trying to force the Zindi and time travel plots together in throughout the season, whilst like you said, Manny Koto comes in and does a different thing.
And
That's just taking place during the thing we're doing.
Hey, guys, Archer's bad, says Manny Koto, and Brandon and Braga go, what? No.
I feel like if they had all that extra space that they had to fill in with a fucking prolonged Burger King
30-minute Burger King ad.
I don't understand why we didn't get the Zindi Council. They could have explained what was going on.
They could have been, because
well, we already knew
they do
that they were
things
working.
Sometimes.
We do know the Zindi Council. Like we already had.
Bring
that
back
scene
Rajin.
About we're gonna proceed with the bioweapon idea. No, it wasn't established that this was also a bioweapon in time idea.
Well, because somewhere they learned that they need 8 different blood types, which is totally a thing. Arg.
Maybe it's the only way to be sure,
Yeah, the fucking Zindi are Dr. Evil levels of overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
Well, where are they on the scale to where Romulans is 10? Because Dr. Evil's kind of also got that incompetence bend. Not that the Romulans ever really pull it off either. But...
Well, no, because they're trying to get so complicated they defeat themselves. It's like the brain.
Yeah, I love that Archer has just decided Loomis is basically Zindi, therefore I can punch the crap out of him. It's like, Archer is incredibly unlikable.
Oh, deeply.
Yeah, he sucks.
Like, how can people get behind him as a Starfleet captain?
In his defense, though, I wanted to punch that guy, too.
Yeah, but Starfleet people should be above that.
Right, but this is
just a guy that they picked up who is and as clueless as they are what he's doing.
Except that he knows that he's kidnapping people and taking their blood and dropping them off in a fucking weird warehouse in the middle of nowhere in Detroit for $5,000 a pop. I mean,
That's
I feel
true.
like no matter who you are, you have to fucking know that's shady.
Loomis is
if
a piece
they were
of...
doing some fucking legit research, they would just be like, an ad in the paper. Hey, we need some blood. Would you like to give us some?
Yeah,
We'll
like
pay
Loomis
you.
is
They could do it
definitely-
cheaper that way, too.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do that? I'd give them a fucking pint of blood for $100.
Well,
Like, what the
it
fuck?
seemed like they needed like persistent access to the blood.
Yeah, whatever. They do fucking sleep studies where they wake you up all night. I'm just saying.
Well, they could have, but here's the thing: they could have lured people to their creepy warehouse.
They could have just robbed the blood bank with their future tech.
Well, but
Yeah.
there's that part about needing them there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they just go back. Like,
but
they
maybe I don't
hit
know.
a bunch of different
Maybe they're
ones.
not using the blood exactly, but they're using. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter.
None of it makes sense.
But they,
That's
yeah,
right, because they're only using blood. They're not using the rest of the human
So,
that's
like,
laying there for anything.
Since Loomis says that he's never seen them, I'm assuming that they hired him by
Phone.
by phone.
They sent him a fax.
Yeah, like they looked in the yellow pages for the local blood bank. They called up.
Put me on with your sketchiest blood bank employee.
Yeah.
And everybody knew exactly who that was. They were like, "Oh yeah, Loomis is here. Hold on."
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Like, how many blood banks did they call asking, like, trying to convince somebody that works there to come into their sketchy warehouse?
I want to see the reptilian Zindi under, like, a human face, like a human mask, walk in and be like, "Hello, I am a human person."
It's like...
Oh, like Ted Cruz.
Brilliant.
Maybe here's what I'm assuming actually happened. They found out where Loomis lived, or like they found out where a blood bank employee lived,
And then they found a blood bank.
They went to his house, waited till he was asleep, and then blasted Edward Van Halen music into his ears.
Edward Van Halen.
That's a Back to the Future reference.
And
Yes.
then, and then when he woke up,
Right.
he's like, "I am Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan."
There you go.
Like, how would they even know, like,
They read an encyclopedia.
to like, okay, this clearly is the pathetic one we can manipulate. You don't know humans. You don't know what a pathetic human life looks like now, never mind in 2004. So, like, it gets dumber the more I think about it.
It certainly does.
Yeah, I still think, like...
And I already thought it was dumb.
It would have been way easier and cheaper for the Zindis to just kidnap the people themselves.
Just attack the fucking Enterprise, kidnap its people, like we've been saying for weeks now. Jesus Christmas.
Yeah,
They kidnapped Sim. Oh no! We have to make 5 more.
Yeah, maybe not all 8 blood types are represented in the Enterprise crew. And they're like,
Ugh.
the only other way to get the 8th is going to be time travel.
Ugh.
Also, here's one for your noodle.
No.
Yum.
If Archer and T'Pol hadn't gone back in time,
No.
they would not have, like, the Zindi would have succeeded in annihilating, presumably, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, maybe.
But here's
I don't know if I give them credit. The Zindi do seem like fools.
In Twilight, they certainly did not go back in time.
That's different timelines do different. God, fuck, damn it.
But the Zindi were already working because they started working on this after Regine. So they've already started. So they started working on it before Twilight, and then Twilight. So this should be in the same timeline of Regine, and Twilight should also be in that timeline. So what I'm saying is, the Zindi must not have succeeded, even without Archer and T'Pol interfering.
Archer is just magic. They just accept it.
Or Daniels sent somebody else back to deal with it in that timeline.
Or Daniels fucking grew a pair and did it himself.
Nah.
Fucking goddamn Daniels.
Yeah, the fact that Daniels exists also, like, reduces any stakes on the show because Archer's got to succeed. There's no chance that he doesn't because the future's cool, because Daniels is here.
Well, maybe Daniels is kind of immune to the timeline, kind of like how... Anorex was immune to the timeline in Year of Hell and shit, and I don't care. I'm so done with this fucking shit.
That would have been, if Anorex would have been such a better character, and it would have made my RoboCop...
I liked Anorex as it was!
No, I'm saying, like, if he was here instead of Daniels...
Oh, yes.
It would have been a way better character. And
it would make no sense.
Yeah, but it would have made my RoboCop crossover work
That's
better.
fine. Okay, accepted.
I think what I said a few weeks ago, like, it should have been Braxton the whole time. He's like, all right, I can't stop Janeway directly. I will just stop the Federation from ever being in that.
Well, here's a different episode they could have done. It's not a bioweapon the Zindi are doing. They have a great plan. They're gonna stop First Contact. And we just have an episode of Enterprise where they're in Montana. And they run into, like, Riker and Troy at the bar, but none of them know who they are. And Riker kind of looks at Archer like, "You look familiar. Doesn't that guy look like Jonathan Archer?" You mean from the history book? don't know why that's what.
Who's that voice?
That's Troy. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was Nog recognizing Cisco in the book about Earth.
Yeah.
Because it kind of had a Nog cadence.
So we could have like a weird crossover episode where like T'Pol and Archer are in Montana. They have no idea that the Borgs or the other Enterprise is there, and then you just have like Frakes and Sirtis.
That'd be a great way to get
episode of Enterprise.
That'd be a great way to get Frakes into an episode of Enterprise.
Okay, even better though, you know who shows up? Fucking much older Velcro dude from Carbon Creek. He's still alive.
Oh, Mistral!
But yeah, Mistral, but he's like
him.
almost 200 and he shows up and he sees T'Pol and she sees him and there's like, fuck are you doing here?
But she doesn't, but that's not actually T'Pol. She doesn't actually know him. He knows her.
Yeah, but she's seen photos.
Oh. Okay.
Or that, yeah, he just looks at her and is like, holy shit.
You look just like Tamir.
Yeah, I think that would have been a fun crossover episode, I think, if they had done that. And then yeah.
Sure.
Hey, Caitlin mentioned Nog.
Eggnog. It's Easter eggnog. Nog.
Good job, Jake. Holy shit. All right, well, jump on the segue because you found it, apparently. So yes, well, that brings us to our Blogtivity Character Spotlight Week because I am so fucking done talking about Enterprise forever. And we're going to spotlight Nog this week. So
I want to go first this week.
Woo.
I want to go first. I never get to go first.
Noggin.
Actually, I think I made you go first few weeks. No, you jumped right in for, I think, Odo week and then realized you only had like 2 and then
I
had
think
to...
I actually have a bunch of good Nog ones.
Great, go for it.
Ames, is that all right with you? Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Ames just has to go last.
I'm done. I've
Ames.
given up on Enterprise.
Ames, I'm sorry.
I had one more note, and that was thank you to Paul for stunning a man on stun. But
Good
that was
point.
fine.
Good point.
Done with Enterprise now.
Stun.
Nog, good stuff. Okay, so Nog helps O'Brien get that piece of equipment by using the Great River of whatever the fuck. They trade Cisco's desk, and then they get some stem bolts. And I know it's just the stem bolt episode again, but anything you do to make O'Brien's life easier is nice.
Yeah.
So
and then
that.
he figures out the little desk problem, which is very cute.
And then he helps the Dauphine, or whatever the fuck her name is, when she's like, my dad is dead and I make bad decisions. And he's like, let me explain to you about how negotiation works or whatever. He's like, let me no, it wasn't even. It was about opportunity.
Yes, what if instead of, the river, you just take the fish from the river, because that's all you want anyway, right? Brilliant, Nog.
And oh shit. I started
you said
strong.
You had a bunch.
I thought I did. I had
you
two.
Had 2.
2 is a lot for me, to be fair. They're good Nog shit. Oh, I mean, duh, he joined Starfleet.
Oh, yay!
All right.
Have we done Jake Sisko? Are we going to do Jake Sisko?
We're doing Jake Sisko.
Oh, good.
Whatever the next time is.
Oh, good, because, God, he's...
Because, no, we're going to skip Jake Sisko, but did Nog.
Well, that's why I guess I was kind of surprised we were doing Nog first.
Well, I'm doing, because I just humped the Ferengi.
Dude, that's fine. I'm not judging it. I just thought it was unusual.
So I'm going
not,
next.
Mad.
Because Caitlin already said 2 of mine.
Yes.
You don't come up with spares?
No. Being his own person and joining Starfleet, being like, because I don't want to be a typical Ferengi.
Oh,
I
and
want to be
more
like
than
my
that,
dad.
I was going to say, I don't want to be like my dad.
That loser.
Helping Varys in The Storyteller. And almost the same thing as getting O'Brien stuff.
Oh.
Helping Jake get Cisco a baseball card.
Oh, I love that episode. They're such sweeties.
So really, you said 2.5 of mine.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Wait, but that was a third one then, right? That wasn't the self-sealing stem bolt episode.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that was the land episode.
That was the land one, but that's the one where they're getting like hemoglobin for
they get captured by
boredom,
the dude.
boredom guy or whatever the fuck.
Well, that's the one with the card. That's in the cards.
Yeah, the one with the baseball card.
They don't get captured by him. They get captured by Wayoon.
Right.
But that guy buys the card.
Yes.
And they want to buy the card from him, but he won't sell it to them unless they get a bunch of random crazy shit.
Unless they do nice things for everybody on the station,
Pretty
and
much.
I love it.
But yeah, because he thinks he's found a way to extend life by boring cells.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, joining Starfleet, I can't not say it because it's defying Ferenginess, I guess. Yeah, I also put in the cards, but now that it's already kind of been said 1.5 times... I'm kind of trying to think if there's a different one I could do.
I mean, there is the other Stembold episode.
Yeah, but that one wasn't great.
I'm
not asking you for help. I'm trying to think. And then, anyway, I think this one trumps it anyway. I guess it didn't really succeed, but trying to help Jake save Cisco in The Visitor.
Oh wow! I didn't think of that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And like pulling the Defiant out of mothballs and putting his, getting the band back together.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. It was good.
Wait, so that was 2 from you, Jake. What?
No, In the Cards was the other.
In the Cards was the other one. Okay. So you did go within the Cards.
Well, I just haven't thought of another one that's not in the Cards.
Okay, well, I'll say...
I actually combined them on my list, the desk thing and In the Cards. So I technically have 4.
Yeah, the other one being Treachery, Faith, and the Great River.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say Progress, because why not? Because that is the self-stealing Stembolt episode.
There we go.
And it gives us self-stealing Stembolts for the rest of time, and that's amazing. Good for them. I like that.
And for the rest of time, all of us will continue to fuck up saying self-sealing stem bolts.
Thank you, Nog.
Oh, Christ.
And I like that. I think that's kind of cute. I will also say just fucking all of Paper Moon. Just all of it, because he's just fucking tremendous in that whole episode.
That's not my bad.
Well,
I was gonna say, I think that the actor did a great job. But I sort of feel like it's also sort of not on my good list.
I'm putting it on my good list because he finds a way that's appropriate for him to battle his PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And
by punching Jake Sisko in the face.
Well, Jake probably had it coming.
And the last one I'm going to give us is a smaller moment, but it's when he rats on those Red Squad kids.
That's what I was thinking of when Jake said he needed one more. Yep, that's a great one.
In Homefront or Paradise Lost. One of the two, they're the same fucking episode.
Prairie Dice.
I think it's Paradise Lost, actually, because that's one. Yes, it is. In fact, I just watched that one recently.
And good for him, because he's a little rat fink, and that's great.
Rats never get points in my book.
Oh.
Wow. Where did you go to private school?
Fucking Tattletales, what he is.
He did what he needed to do.
Snitches get stitches. Or in the future, they use dermal regenerator.
Yes, snitches get re-dermal generated.
Snitches get scars on their head if they don't sit still, Quark. That one where he gets the brand. And he's like,
oh, wow.
And Julian's like, shut the fuck up and sit still. I've watched the series like 6 times now, Ames. I mean, I know a little bit about it, finally.
Well, if you know a little bit about it, tell us some bad moments from Nog.
Bad Nog
dare
moments.
You.
So, ratting out Red Squadron.
I double Nog dare you.
That's good. That's very, great. Good work. Very good. Though he was smart enough to rat out Red Squad or whatever, he jumps right the fuck on board with the fucking crazy train kids that are all taking speed and running the ship after their adult people died.
The Valiant.
Well, yeah, is that what's called? The Valiant? I couldn't remember. I keep wanting to call them like Red Squad.
They are Red Squad.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so it is. It's still Red Squad.
The ship is the Valiant, but yeah, the kids are Red Squad. And like, here's the thing: they're not fucking kids. They're fucking adults. They should know better.
Well, also true, yes. But that whole episode is fucking crazy.
They're just young adults.
No, I was going to say, if you're in Starfleet, don't you have to be at least like 16 or 17 or 18? Is it
college? 16 is like, no, that's too
But also, they're not like first year cadets. They're like the top of the top.
That's true. So they're at least 22,
they get
21,
no
22
points.
Probably. What'd you say?
Good day, sir.
How long is Starfleet?
You lose.
How long is it? Is it like a 4-year
I think the assumption has
program?
always been 4 years.
I don't want the assumption. I want the facts.
I don't think they've ever established it.
All I remember is that one of the actresses in that episode was specifically 16 years old. So,
well, going on 17.
What else you got, Caitlin?
The time he tricked that woman into doing umox in Area 51.
Oh yeah, that's at the tippy top of my list because every time there's umox, it's gonna be on
umox
my list.
is bad. Like all umox is bad. Once again, Jim Jordan in the jerk off bank with his son. Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Mike Johnson. Oh, Johnson. That should be really easy to remember since he apparently can't stop playing with it and needs to have accountability with his kid. And one of my I don't know if this is actually the thing is Nog is kind of like a little twat, but he's never done anything aside from the sexual assault. Boys will be boys, am I right? He doesn't do anything super duper egregious. But when he and Jake go on that double date and he treats his date like a fucking, well, a Ferengi, I guess, but like still, it's just so gross. It's not like you've never met humans. It's not like you don't know how you treat Jake. It's not like you don't see men and women together all the time. Like, you're the only Ferengi on the ship.
Yeah.
You literally talk to women
Chew
every
my
day.
food for me, because that's what women do.
Stop talking and chew. Like, what the fuck, bro? So that's one of them. That's a horrible episode.
And that's literally the episode before he decides to go to Starfleet. It's like, dude, why are you going to Starfleet? There are women
They
there.
love womenizing in Starfleet, probably.
Yeah, he's only read about Kirk.
Shit.
Yeah. Literally, those were my three.
Oh, me too.
Awesome.
Except I called it Red Squad simping specifically.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna call an audible here because I also had the same one.
We swept.
No, I had two of the same ones. The one that was not the overlap was not dealing in Paper Moon. Like,
I love it when they're on both lists.
It's like Eisenberg phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
And I do feel bad for the character because he was going through some shit. But yeah, like that behavior was not acceptable.
And you're right, because like at first it was like okay, but then eventually he's like, and actually I'm never leaving, and it's like,
And it's like, but like, and like I think if we're gonna pick a moment, it's when Jake comes in and he gets into a fight.
That's a very definitive.
So all right, I'm calling audible here, so I don't have, we get a couple more in there. I'm gonna say very very early Nog. The delinquency with
which time? There's so many.
I was thinking of the time when, like,
different times
when they put that color changing itching powder.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's in A Man Alone. I have that one.
And actually, wasn't he like? Wait, do you have more? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Wasn't he like big racist about the flaky people?
Everyone was.
Yeah, but wasn't he kind of like the Tinder? Whatever, I don't know.
Kindling?
No, that's not it. Don't worry about it. But wasn't he kind of the one that started the shit? Like, because doesn't he like get into a big confrontation with the two of the boys, and then they're like, "We're gonna kick your ass," and like Quark's like, "Get the fuck off our station," and that's when all hell kind of breaks loose between the two. Because I feel like
Quark was involved.
No, Quark was. Yeah, Quark. I think Quark shows up and is like, "Hey, don't talk to my nephew like that." Because he's already mad about the Skreans, and then it was like an excuse to use his nephew to his advantage.
I don't know. I'll bring this up next time when we do the Jake Sisko one, because that one's definitely on my Jake Sisko list, because Jake, I think, gets in the physical fight with Walter Koenig's kid, right?
Yes.
Okay. But that's a bad Jake moment. We need one more bad,
very Nordic
Nog moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna swap out one of my good moments just to add more variety.
Wait, what? You make one of your good moments a bad moment?
No. I'm gonna add another good moment.
Oh, god damn it! That's not how this works, Jake.
I'm gonna say again, defying Ferengi tradition and going to school specifically. The school that Keiko ran. So I'll swap out joining Starfleet for that since we already got Starfleet covered.
And to be fair, Rom did initially enroll him.
Yeah, but he went.
Fair.
And he learned how to read, which is good. We'll say that.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. I bet.
Oh yeah, because that's so good.
I like
with Jake.
Such a honest to God, what a sweet baby.
Right,
like
so
I just
need another
Jake.
Bad moment.
Love Jake's sister.
Let's go with. I'll just go with one of the ones I had since I'm just not thinking of it. So I'm gonna say the behavior on the date, the double date.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Gross.
Yep, that's pretty gross. Luckily, I have a bunch of spares because those were also my top 3 bad moments. Because fuck Umox, fuck Red Squad, and fuck being a racist on your dates. But here's some spares. In The Ascent, when he's, rooming with Jake, he's the biggest fucking tight ass out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a bit of a pill.
And it's like, really? Come on, this is your friend. At least be decent to your friend.
Yeah, but Jake is kind of being...
He's
being
a shitty...
hugely inconsiderate,
that will be on our Jake list next time. So, you know what? They were both dicks to each other, so they're both going to probably get some sass from me about it. Yeah. So there's that. I thought it was fucking gross when he sees, the soldier with his war trophies in the Siege of AR-558. And he's like, look how cool that is. He's got all these Ketracel white tubes. I'm like, Nog, stop it.
Yeah, that's some serial killer shit, dude.
And then I just have 3 early him being a miscreant moments that I'll just kind of lump together. Or they'll possibly fill out the rest of the blog post list, because there aren't that many bad Nog moments, because, after he stops being a miscreant in the first season, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's kind of a naughty boy for a few minutes, and then he's like a pretty good boy.
Yeah, so the bad moments I have that itching cream incident, which I think we mentioned already.
That was one of mine.
Yeah, so I'm lumping together.
Oh.
So there's that one, there's the him stealing shit in Emissary, and then there's the him filling Odo's bucket with oatmeal.
Oh, yeah!
To trick Jake into thinking they'd killed Odo.
Okay, but here's the thing, that's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny, but it's also, fucking cruel, man.
To Jake?
To Jake.
Oh, okay. Not to Odo. I was going to say, I was like, Odo's a dick. He kind of did. Not that I don't love him, I do.
A Mayweather level prank right there.
That's actually where Nog got it. He read about it in one of Hoshi's logs. That's what they were actually...
Mayweather will eventually write a series of memoirs that doesn't even mention his time in Starfleet. It's just my life in classic pranks.
Yeah, but nobody...
By...
whoever that guy is.
Travis Mayweather. I literally forgot his first name.
Yeah, but no one will ever read that because...
Well, no,
that's how Nog gets it, actually, is because it's kind of like how the E.T. Atari game just became a big flop, and they had, a whole fucking just Grand Canyon full of that shit. That's what happens to Mayweather's book pads. And one day Nog finds one. Fucking, they've got 12 gross of... Travis, my Life in Pranks by Travis Mayweather. How to Prank Friends and Inconvenience People, actually, I think is what it was called. And, yeah, so he finds a shitload of them. He tries to sell them. No good. He settles for reading them. The end.
There you go.
Cool story, bro.
Shut up. It was great.
Save it for the fanfic.
Ooh. More fanfic. Good God, we're going to have to enter right fanfic.
Somebody better...
If I get Mayweather, I'm just going to put his picture up in the left-hand corner of the screen while I read my fanfic, and that'll be him being part of the fanfic, guys.
No, here's what it is. Our fanfic theme for Enterprise will be the many pranks of Travis Mayweather.
Oh,
that would be fucking awesome! You got punked, Mayweather edition. No, it's just called punked. Sorry.
Oh shit, the warp core's gone great! Shovel pod putters away. You got pranked.
Yeah, all of our things are just going to be Travis Mayweather hosting a 2000s era MTV prank show a la Ashton Kutcher.
That's what he could have done.
You've been Mayweathered, son.
He accidentally invents punked back in 2004.
Ooh.
Sorry, did you get all 3 on there? Or...
I got 12.
Great. There we go.
Shitting.
Well.
Oh, and one more naughty Nog.
Ooh.
He was
I need more.
He was selling Kira's spring ball paddle at his bar mitzvah yard sale.
Oh man, I forgot this.
He stole her spring ball paddle?
Yeah, she was like, "Wow, I've been looking for this," and he's like, "Oh, I found it." She's like, "Yeah, in my quarters. What the fuck?"
That's good. That's good because I need to fill out the list because I didn't have a very long bad moment list.
Little remnant of Nordy Norg.
I can't remember if that was the only thing that Nordy Norg stole, but I think there might have been one other item. The Norty Norg.
All right, well, that episode all wrapped up and shot out of a torpedo tube.
Oh no, Sam.
Next week, we are giving ourselves a bit of a break, and. We probably should have done this back in DS9, but next week we are doing a 10 forward and looking at the Blade Runner duology.
Sure.
I think that's the word for it.
I like how you say we were giving ourselves a break, and we were like, you're just going to do more shit.
Yeah, instead of doing 2 episodes, we're doing 2 full-length fucking movies.
True.
Oh, yeah. So there's many editions of the original Blade Runner.
That's true.
Should we settle on which one we're gonna watch?
With the unicorn and the...
I had assumed, the director's cut.
Well, there's a director's cut. There's the final cut.
Which one has the over...
The voiceover, or the theatrical cut?
That's the theatrical.
Isn't that the right one?
No.
We've all agreed that one's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh. I think it's terrible no matter what version we watch.
I guess final cut, probably?
Sure.
I'm not even sure
I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know either.
Because I don't remember this movie. Which one has the most sheep?
Neither of them.
God damn it! God fucking damn it!
Yeah. So yeah,
more sheep.
Next week, probably the final cut, I guess, of Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, which luckily only has one cut.
But I haven't
God,
seen the other 2048.
Nice, Jake.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, join us for that.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
It'll be a break from Enterprise.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So it'll be a good time.
I meant a break from Enterprise specifically, so thank God for that. Follow us on Facebook and SoundCloud and the Tumblr at shhbpodcast.com. No Tumblr next week because it's just Blade Runner. Yeah, this has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is always Jay.
Red Squad, Red Squad, Red Squad, Red Squad. No one wanted to join in?
I was gonna, but then I sensed that the end was coming. Like,
Oh,
I knew that was
Yeah.
gonna be the last one, so I was like, all right. She's keeping going because she wants us to join, but she's gonna stop. So I didn't.
But if I don't join, she'll just stop.
I don't appreciate all this pressure.
My ugh is all over the theme, just appearing every so often wherever the note is
That would be awesome.
All right, do the thing. I have diarrhea, so let's go.